So for years, I lived every day afraid of pain. Like I remember lying on the couch, leg tingling, panic rising in my chest, thinking I finally messed up for good. But today I'm deadlifting close to 500 pounds pain-free, not because I found some miracle cure, but because I discovered hidden triggers that were keeping me stuck in the pain cycle. The same triggers that might be sabotaging your training plan right now. Welcome to my channel. My name's Gabe. I'm a kinesiologist and personal trainer, and I help active individuals refuse to give up their training and learn how to eliminate pain without backing down on intensity or without stopping going to the gym. My journey started when I messed up my back during a bench press. I felt something go wrong, looked at my girlfriend, and I was like, this is bad. This is bad now. And what followed were years of frustration. I was trying everything from physio to active rehab to mirror therapy, and nothing was working. None of it got me back to the training that I wanted to do. I wasn't getting better anymore. I was just trying not to get hurt. And for those in that situation, it sucks. And if you're an active adult who loves training, but keeps hitting the same pain barriers, this channel's for you, because the solution isn't what most experts are telling you, unfortunately. In today's video, I'm gonna show you the 3 hidden pain triggers that keep you stuck and exactly how to identify them in your own training. So here's a cycle that might sound familiar. You're training hard, pain flares up, you modify or avoid certain movements, things improve temporarily, you return to training, and then like clockwork, the pain returns. And most people think this happens because you're not recovering enough, your form isn't perfect, or you're just getting older. Hate that one. Or worst of all, this is just how it is now. Hate that one too. But after years of studying this pattern in myself and in others, I discovered something very different. The reason your pain keeps returning isn't because you're training too hard. It's because you're not addressing these hidden triggers that are actually causing the problem. And the worst part, most traditional advice, even from well-meaning healthcare providers, completely misses the mark. So the first hidden pain trigger keeping you in pain is compensatory movement patterns. Here's what happens. You first start experiencing pain. Your body instinctively changes how you move to avoid that pain. It might be shifting weight to one side during a squat, during your grip during a bench press, or subtly altering your hip position during a deadlift. Any one of those. Could be for another exercise too. And the problem, these compensations don't disappear when the pain improves. They become your new normal. And here's a simple way to check if this is happening to you. Record yourself performing a basic movement that's often painful, like a bodyweight squat, lightweight deadlift. Watch it back and look for these signs. Weight shifting to one side, one shoulder higher than the other, feet turning out, uneven pressure through your hands or feet. These subtle adaptations might be keeping you locked in this pain cycle. I'm not saying this is the one-fits-all solution, but just analyzing this could be a game changer for some people. Now, the first step to fixing this isn't trying to force perfect form. It's just being aware that these patterns are there. Now, pain trigger number 2, recovery threshold. Sounds fancy. Here's what I mean. Everybody has a recovery threshold, the amount of training stress it can handle before pain signal starts firing. But here's what no one tells you. This threshold isn't fixed. It changes based on sleep quality from the previous night, stress levels from work or life, nutritional status, previous training sessions accumulation. There's so many moving parts here. And when I was stuck in my pain cycle, I would have a good day and immediately try to train like nothing had ever been wrong. 2 days later, I'd be back on the couch wondering what the heck happened. And I wasn't respecting the fluctuating nature of my recovery threshold. Here's how to identify if this is happening to you. Look at your training log for the last month. Do you see a pattern of 2 good sessions followed by 1 major setback, and that seems random and unpredictable? Good mornings, but painful evenings, workouts that feel fine, but cause problems hours later. These are all signs that you're miscalculating your recovery threshold. And the solution isn't to train less, it's to train smarter by mapping out your threshold instead of just guessing. I started tracking my pain triggers systematically, noting not just what exercises caused the problem, but what combination of factors preceded the pain. And this data became my roadmap back to consistent training. Now, pain trigger number 3 is improving proper loading progression. So key. Most training programs follow a simple formula. Add more weight or reps each week. But when you're dealing with pain, this linear approach can be a disaster. I remember forcing myself through a strength test in a kinesiology program out of pure frustration. And I paid for it with weeks of increased pain. I was caught in this trap of like push, 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 push. And here's what happens. You have one good session with minimal pain. You add weight the next time because that's what you're supposed to do. Pain flares up, you back off completely, improvement happens, then you jump back into the exact same thing. And then you repeat this cycle endlessly. To identify if this is happening to you, ask yourself, do your setbacks often come after PRs or pushing heavier weights? Have you been stuck in the same weights for months because every time you increase pain returns? Do you fluctuate between training hard and not training at all? The solution isn't avoiding progression, it's changing how you progress. So the breakthrough for me came when I stopped thinking in linear terms and just add more weight every week and started using different progression models like wave loading, for example, or double progression. And these are strategic ways to advance without just adding more weight every single week. And I stopped chasing perfection and started stacking small wins. So one strong session, one lift done right, one small victory at a time. And this built my confidence over time and decreased the fear that I had with training. Because ultimately, for myself, I think I was just scared of getting hurt. And when you walk into a training session and you're scared, you're already going to be in this hyper vigilant state. This will just make things more amped up, and then you'll likely feel more pain. When you enter a training session, you don't want to be overthinking. So what can you do right now to start addressing these triggers? Map your movements. Take 5 minutes to record yourself performing basic movements from multiple angles. Look objectively for the compensations we discussed. And again, like I'm using the word compensations, but we're all asymmetrical. So don't be a perfectionist about it. Just look for glaring differences between both sides of the body, for example. Track your threshold for the next week. Rate your pain on a scale of 0 to 10 before, during, and after training. Note your sleep quality, stress levels, and nutrition quality each day, and just look for patterns. Again, no need for perfection. Restructure your progression. Instead of adding weight every session, try this approach. 2 sessions at the same load, then a small increase, then a strategic deload potentially, and progress becomes a staircase, not a straight line. The key insight from my journey wasn't that I needed to train less, it's just I needed to train differently. As I said to myself when I hit my limit, I've had enough. I will train my way. I will work with the pain. And I refuse to let this kind of take control over me. And today I'm closing in on a 500-pound deadlift pain-free, which is awesome. It's the heaviest I've ever pulled. I'm running long distances without pain. And most importantly, I'm feeling like myself again. Because when you're in pain, you kind of lose that sense of identity, especially if you had chronic pain. And I felt like I just wasn't myself. And now I'm starting to feel like the person I always knew I wanted to be. This channel is about helping you get there too, without giving up training that's core to who you are. Now, I mentioned a bunch of pain triggers for myself that affected me, but at the end of the day, the biggest take-home message is don't fear pain. Just because you're in pain doesn't mean that you're broken. It doesn't mean that you're fragile. Having this fear really makes things worse because I was walking into training sessions, always scared. Is this the day that I blow my back out? If you're in pain, you know exactly what I mean. So take a deep breath, find a competent professional that can help, guide, and work with you to get you back where you want to be. Next week, I'll show you exactly how to rebuild movement patterns after identifying these triggers, including a technique that finally fixed my deadlift after years of modification. If you've been modifying workouts for weeks, months, or even years without solving the root cause, hit subscribe, comment triggers below, share which movement causes your most persistent pain. I read and respond to every comment. Remember, pain isn't the end of your training. Sometimes it's just the beginning of a better one. See you on the next video.